want you to know this is not about fixing you, it's about fixing me. And I think that the dips in our abilities are antipodal, if you will, and that situationally, I mean, each of us, the thing that I don't know is whether or not you want forward movement. Because if you don't, this won't work at all. And then I don't even know what that looks like for you. I know what I want to do. I want to be able to get out of my house and go have fun, and ride horses and travel and what else? Keep my bread up, make that Airbnb money, which is part of my plan, because you kind of know real estate and wheeler dealer, schmoozer and the boozer. The boozer part won't help. But don't worry, nobody's gonna give up alcohol entirely. To get my Airbnb going, I mean, all the things are there. Cute little appliances and just a couple things need to be done. But not even necessarily. Like another little sink. It's really not necessary. I guess I could send you some pictures, but stuff that I don't have a heart or the skill really to do, like just stupid shit, like shelves. Like I can put up a shelf, but it's not going to be sexy. It's not going to look like a shelf you would want in your house. Or I don't even know if you do that. I don't know if you swing a hammer. I'd like to think you do. Oh, damn, I'm so funny. So anyway, and then there's, setting it up on the Airbnb app and figuring out what to charge and whatever. And so if that worked for you and you're good at that and whatnot, then that, I mean, it would happen instantly. Like you would be the property manager and then you would have income. And, I would guess we would base it on a percentage of the rentals, which is, it's going to be a substantial amount of money. Substantial. The whole thing, the cottage and the house together, if I include getting a hot tub, I'm going to say based on what goes on around here, maybe a little under 1,000 a night, maybe 800, but I'll have to check. But and then you could switch it up, like the cottage would be around here, probably 120 a night, and the house around here probably 300, or maybe 4. I don't know. I think Goldie's going to tell me 5 or 6. Anyway, she's the queen of local pricing and actually helps people get their Airbnbs set up as part of her many gigs. But she's ill right now. She's my friend who I'm picking up from chemo in the city, so she's not really up to it. But she can give me the basic information, like how much to charge. She'll say, yeah, you can charge $600 if you, whatever. Do XYZ thing, which involves like some small, whatever, I don't know, it's fucking sheetrock but nothing's broken and nothing really needs painting. I can't really think of what needs to be done, but also I can't get anything done. I can't do anything. There are a lot of things I can have great capability, a lot of capability, and a lot of nice tools. But that's the way my stuff is expressing itself is in inertia, not so much in public outbursts that makes the cops come. But to each his own, buddy. Number one, and number two, I think that the level of of fucked upness, although the flavors are very different. I think they are, they have the same value. Different ingredients, but the same. Like if they were colors, they would have the same color value. Same amount of pigment, just totally different outcomes. And so my impression, it could be wrong, but after years at sea, my impression would be, maybe my supposition would be, based on the little bit I know about your daily, which is very little, but you're tidy, you keep your shit condensed and compressed, you know where your stuff is, and you don't need much. So that would help. That eyeball, that way of living, would be really useful in setting up the cottage. Like, what's the most convenient place to turn around and put the mini fridge or whatever it is. So, yeah, I feel like you're organized. I also feel like in terms of your observing me, that as somebody who's been I'm assuming you're captain-ish in charge of people, telling people to do things maybe they don't want to do. That would be a request, like, because I need instruction, because it's gotten to the point where it's kind of like when Oliver Sacks he wrote about in The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat. That things have reached a point neurologically, and maybe it's undiagnosed autism or whatever, but I literally don't see a problem. Like right now, I'm looking over in the corner by the laundry washer dryer, and on a tall chair is a little box of concrete mix, like about the size of a bread box. And I took that out for something, God knows when, but I didn't notice it until just now. I was looking for an example. So to me, that box of concrete mix on the chair is not a problem. I don't even recognize it as something that doesn't belong there, which if you multiply that times 100 means there's a lot of inappropriate shit left in different ways, and it's almost like once the pathway's cleared up, like, no, that's not something that needs to be on the chair. It needs to go with the tools or with the materials. I mean, I can follow a system really well. I just, for right now, I can't create a system for myself. So my hope is that there's a visual organization that you could possess or do possess that I don't, and you could see where the problem is. And one of the reasons I think this, that it might have a little bit of a global insight into my thrashings, well, that's based on something you said to me a million years ago. I believe we were in the Camellia Grill, and it was right after there was a big kerfuffle about you betting my roommate, or my roommate betting you, however it happened. And I was really, pissed off and whatever, but I believe I was really sad in the diner, maybe crying over my waffles or something. And you said, you're just upset because you think now you have to choose between me and Wendy. And it was so simple, but not something that ever would have occurred to me, at age 23 or whatever I was. But there was something kind of almost robotic about the way you said it. It wasn't to be mean, but it wasn't with compassion either. It was just really observant and blah, 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 blah. And you just said that. At the time, that was no fun to hear. But over the last week or so, since we've been talking, I've thought so much about it because, yeah. So these are my things that, that I need to happen. And if I can get this money coming in, I feel like, well, I can go wherever I want. I can go wherever I want now, just based on my monthly income for doing nothing. But it could really be party time. It would kind of double my income, and then I could be traveling, I could be saving money, and, just kind of generating some cash. I've never done it. It's almost like I want to do it. Like I've never, ridden a pony across Iceland. I just want to do it. So the money thing's not for me, not really about the money, but about the win. And that's why I'm thinking, I need somebody who likes to win, like you. You like to win, and real estate, right? And stuff. I think, well, it's my interpretation that stuff is there. So, okay, but this is what I think might be a dip in your situation globally, or maybe in your ability. It's just so velvety, and that's that situation where you're in just it's kind of an everyday hustle. That's not a word that I mean whatever in any negative way. It's just, these are the patterns that you've ended up living, and it's self-perpetuating, as you know. And I don't know how long it takes to get used to it. Probably less time than we think. And I know that we can get used to anything. I fucking know this. But this is not to be classist. It's more about the heart and what it's kind of, the ways it's used to being happy, and what naturally fulfills it. And this, sleeping on the beach with no car, no property, and hustling for a good bed and a good flagging spot is, I don't understand why that set of beliefs and that value system to do those actions is enough for you. And I mean that you must feel really trapped, and or maybe you're just like, fuck it, this is okay. You've lived a life. You've been rich. You've sailed the 7 seas. You've gotten married. You had your lovely person down there. I think you said Deborah, whatever, after your marriage. And, it's okay to just kind of fucking be done, and just kind of ride it out. The thing is that the end of this kind of lifestyle is not pretty. It's not pretty. It's not pretty. And one can't stay healthy in this kind of lifestyle. I think that cardiac issues, very well could be correlated with this kind of lifestyle and whatever. And I know you're a wanderer and a cavorter and I don't know, whatever. And I think that's great. That's what I want to be. So I don't mean that you should domesticate yourself and go and start buying furniture and whatever. But a way so that where you're going to sleep and how are you going to eat is not contingent on a bunch of other people's fucking decisions. Because the shelter person has to say yes, and the doctor has to say yes, or whatever. And I don't know how your bipolar expresses itself, but, my sense is that it can be extreme enough to piss a bunch of people off. And the results are not great. So, and the only reason I'm kind of talking about these particulars is it gives me a sense of whether or not you'll be able to help me with my mission. I don't really know what your mission is, and I know kind of what makes sense to me, because this value system is not a culture. It's a value system and a lifestyle similar to following fish, So that's about the skankiest comparison I can make. But like the kids who follow fish around and make a lifestyle of, still being dirty and unshaven and selling dollar burritos in the lot and making a stupid name for each other, and white people growing dreadlocks and constantly hustling and whatever. And it's all about this band. And it's like, a band is not enough to form a culture around. So eventually shit falls apart. They all kind of lose out, either with drugs in some way or financially in some way. And it's just embarrassing. How embarrassing is it to be like a tie-dye wearing hippie at age, 59, 63. I know old hippies, they're disgusting. And their values are laughable. Laughable. Yeah, man. It's like, oh my God, shut up. No. So it's the paradigm is similar in the lifestyle that you're living, in that I would think it's so perpetuating, and you really have to, keep your eyes peeled and keep your nose to the ground to keep things going. I mean, flagging is, whatever you call that. I don't know what the fucking politically correct word for it is. Panhandling, or I don't know, but I don't know. I mean, it's part, there's a place for that in every culture, but I don't understand why that place, how you got to that place with from your upbringing, from your middle class, a white middle class New England upbringing, really, I would assume things about pulling your weight and such and such and such, and I don't, and with your access to social services, I just wonder what your brain would do. Here it is. What would your brain and your heart be doing if they didn't have to invest all your time in just the four basics, shelter, food, whatever the other two are. The two basics. Because you're eligible for I don't know what they call it in Florida, but vocational rehabilitation. Up here we call it OVAC. And they send people to schools. I mean, if that feels fun, or maybe renew your whatever real estate thing or some other kind of thing that's interesting. If that feels good, but they'll send people to school. They pay your whole tuition, all the books, and a stipend, and whatever. And it's something to do. If you said, I always wished I. I mean, but you can do so many things. So I don't know. And do you still love the water? Do you still want to be involved around boats, or do you love talking about boats? Do you love teaching people about boats? I mean, to me, I love teaching people about instruments and empowering them to make a joyful noise and all that. And it's never not fun. I don't know if you like communicating about boats or whatever. So again, the big question is, I don't know what your mission is, or if you see this current mission as an ultimately unworkable, and it's kind of a downward spiral as you age, my friend. The next guy who pushes you down, if you take his spot, maybe in a couple of years your balance won't be so good, and and slap your head on the curb or whatever. Was that really the way, or just even if you go slowly of whatever. I mean, who's going to be there? Because this lifestyle prevents real relationships from forming, like all the buddies that you had in the past. I don't know if they were AA program buddies or people from town or sailor buddies, or I don't know, church people. I mean, where, like, when you say you lost everybody, like, I know why I lost everybody. It's definitely me. So I don't know why, you lost everybody. I mean, does everybody abandon you, when you become a car sleeping flag, hustling flag, cardboard weaving homeless person at age what? I mean, most people would say, yeah, Thomas went crazy. T-Dub, after such and such, well, no, he just drank himself almost to death, and now he's out there. And you ever see him? Yeah, I saw him last week at Piggly Wiggly. He looked okay, but, and so, yeah, people give up pretty easily. If you don't stay in the box where they put you. But I don't know. Is this your box? Do you like this box? Is this a good box? Because if it's a good box, I don't need to talk about it at all. you know? And also the legal thing, you talked about your PO. I don't know why you have a PO, and I really am not clear on the answer about whether or not you can leave the state. Because if all this sounded good to you, like I need direction, instruction, and how to get this Airbnb running, and it would take, I'm going to say a week, maybe 10 days, a short amount of time before the first renter comes in. And as soon as that first renter comes in, then the money starts coming in. And it could be like a kind of easy, fun, because I know I'm going to hire a property manager. I'm not doing it myself. I'm not neither the inclination nor the whatever. And so I've already budgeted that into so what I want to, how I'm gonna do it. And I don't know. I don't want to have to be here. And so, I know people, kids who will come over and flip the place. Whatever. There's just a lot of ways to do it. So it's a lot to think about. In the meantime, I've just been really struggling with the lowest form of can't get up or do anything. And my knee is really killing me, and I need to call the doctor's office and set up an appointment for the gel shots. A part of my thing is I have medical stuff and I do nothing about it, and it's like I'm making this scary, terrible phone call just to make, to get an appointment to follow through on the thing, and I just don't do it. And then sometimes weeks and weeks go by, and then my authorization expires, and it's just a whole bunch of stupid bullshit. And if somebody was here saying, "Hey, did you make that appointment?" I'd be like, that's, I think the isolation is just, I don't know, my state, like not much is happening. And, wasting a lot of time and a lot of money, just being stupid. And I hate that. I hate waste. So, these are my words for right now.